Hello, Internet, and welcome to my review for Angels of Death Episode 3. When we last left off, Zach and Rachel had made it to the fourth basement floor, where a fairly less than stellar mix of drama and comedy happened. The drama really worked well, and the comedy really didn't work well last week. But at the end, we were introduced to the master of the floor, whose name we learn is Eddie. We learned that this episode. And all in all, I'd say this episode. For one thing, it cut back on a lot of the really bad comedy of last week, and what jokes were there worked really well. I feel. I don't have any specifics in mind at the moment, but I feel like it was just the little humor there was. I feel like worked better, and there just also was not as much bad humor, which is always a plus because I feel like the comedy did not work well last time. But let's get on to the episode itself. So we see Eddie's has this really twisted view of love of I love her so much I want to kill her, which seems kind of pretty par for the course for the kind of series this is. He seems like a particular kind of slasher villain that I feel like he just fits into fairly well, but I feel like he is a fairly well done example of that, love is death trope kind of thing. So I feel like Eddie was for the most part a pretty good enemy, even if he's only really in the one episode, given that he does die at the end of this week. But I don't like how there's that first confrontation between Zach and Eddie before Eddie goes to chase after Rachel, and it's so dark, not content wise dark. It's just the screen is in very dark colors, and I'm not a fan of that. I've never been a fan of the screen is you're squinting to see the screen. I just think it's just kind of doesn't look very nice. So I was not a big fan of that first scene. And then we have... So after that, Eddie, leaves the scene, and he somehow manages to, dash ahead of Rachel. And I'm not sure how he does that. Maybe there are, secret passages in the floor. It doesn't really matter, because, Eddie's dead now, and they left the floor at the end of the episode. But it was just kind of a weird thing. I don't know. I mean, we see him kind of, disappear in his final fight with Zach, and I'm not entirely sure if that's supposed to be literal disappearing. If it is, it does make this scene make a good bit more sense. But yeah, that was just kind of a weird thing. And there's also something about Eddie feels like a real person, and I think that makes him all the more creepy. He kind of feels especially towards the end of the episode, that guy who won't take no for an answer when a girl doesn't want to go out with him. He just she's no, I'm not into you, and he's yeah, you are, I'm gonna kill you because that's what love is in his weird mind. And I think that really works well. I'm not entirely sure if that's what the authors were intending to do, with Eddie, but I think it's still ended up making him at least interesting villain. I think he worked as a villain, and especially for a one-off villain, he was a fun character. Though I do have to wonder, how important is Eddie? Because, it doesn't seem like Zach knows about Rachel's parents. And yet Eddie says that, I know how your parents died, or I know why your parents died, one or the other. The point is, he knows more than he's letting on, or more than he tells Rachel through the course of the episode. So I'm kind of curious, how does he get that ability? How does he get the privilege to know all that? Is it that the higher up they go, the more important the people are, and the more that the people know? Or is it just that Eddie is someone close to whoever is running this whole facility? Probably, this guy in the background of the key visual with no irises or pupils, who we have not met yet. But yeah, I don't really know what's up with him. And we're probably not gonna get to know because he is dead. So in that confrontation with Rachel and Eddie, and then Zach shows up behind the wall, I actually did find Rachel and Zach's dynamic a lot more fun than I did last week. There's just something about them that's just kind of almost charming in a psycho murderous kind of way, that I felt was just kind of bland last week. I feel like they're really getting to know each other, and it's getting a lot more fun, which is kind of my general thoughts on the episode as a whole. It's just a lot more fun than it was in episode 2. Episode 3 is just a lot better. Now I do have a bit more of a logic question. So when Zach breaks down the wall separating him and Rachel and Eddie, he only does a single swipe, and it's like horizontal, right? Or like diagonal, but kind of like that, you know? Um, but somehow the hole it makes is like person shaped. That was just a weird thing, and like I feel like it would have worked better if it was just like a large circular hole that maybe the scythe like blasted through, or he sliced twice and it was a circle or kind of deal, you know. But the way it turned out, it just was kind of weird, you know. Like, okay, it just made a person, but that's not really too much of a complaint. That's just me being nitpicky in my notes. And then we see. So the title of the episode is, of course, "I Swear to God," which is what Zach says when he swears that he will kill Rachel. He swears to God that he's going to kill Rachel, and that is what makes Rachel, um, like she's kind of being swayed by Eddie's desire to kill her, and then Zach says that, and she's like, "Nope, I'm with him all the way." Which makes me curious again. What is up with her religion? Religion seems to be a very important part of the character, and I'm kind of curious what exactly is up with that. And also, what happened in her past that made her so desperate? Like, her face as she, like, begs at Zach, you know, you swore to God to kill me, please do that. You know, it's really intense, and I really want to know what exactly has led her to this point. And there's no way we're not going to get that, I feel. We have, I think, 13 episodes left. I've heard the series is going to be 16 episodes. And I imagine, like, we're definitely going to get some answers there. But then that scene plays out, and, you know, she has that conversation with Zach, and Eddie leaves. He just like up and vanishes, only to show up 5 seconds later as they near the the exit to the floor. So was that just to like get Rachel at her new coffin, or was it just like for the drama? I'm not entirely sure. That was just kind of a weird thing. But, you know, it's whatever. That's a whatever thing. On to a more serious point. So there's this scene where Eddie makes one last plea to get Rachel to join him and let Eddie kill her. And she says, "But Zach swore to God, and that's why I'm trusting him. Something God." And Eddie says, "There's no such thing as," and then or "I don't believe in," and then he stops himself and then says, "God didn't tell me that." So I'm kind of curious, is he just trying to like not like he can tell that Rachel is really pro God and does not want to tick her off by denying the existence of God, or is there actually a God that is talking to Eddie? Is there someone that Eddie considers God? Maybe like the head of the building or something, that something more than just, you know, I don't want you to know I'm an atheist. I don't know. And then Eddie turns the lights out for like his final fight with Zach, and he seems to like literally fade away. And it happens a couple times throughout that whole sequence. It seems like Zach like slices through an after image. And I'm kind of curious, does he actually have that superpower? Are there superpowers here, or are they just like weird people? I mean, we saw Danny in episode 1, his like weird double eye thing going on. So maybe there are like superhumans here. Or is it just like metaphor? He seems to be there, but then he's like really not. That's something I don't know. And then the fight goes on, and Rachel like falls into the coffin as she's right about to get the lights to like make Eddie gloat over her so that she can like tackle him from the coffin. It's a really cool scene, and it's really great to see Rachel really stop being like just the blank face Cypher she was. She still is like very much a blank face person, and I feel like that's definitely a part of her development throughout the series. We'll be having her become less and less of a blank face person. But in this scene, it's nice to see the really like the early footsteps of that transition that I imagine she'll be going through over the course of the show. And like we see also like both that strategy and the way she like figures out that that Eddie has like remote control for the lights due to like the timing just being too perfect. Which I feel like is a nice meta moment because like it's both perfect from like a strategy standpoint and from like for the drama and like for the genre. So that is a bit of a meta moment, and you know we see Rachel's really starting to think things through. And that's kind of the bulk of the episode, except right as they're about to leave the fourth basement, Zach gives Rachel a nickname, Ray, and he tells Rachel to call him Zach, which is a cute little, where was I? It's a cute little moment, cute little, like character building moment to show that they're like becoming closer. It makes you kind of wonder whether or not Zach will actually want to kill her at the end. Maybe he'll like grow to care for her a little bit. I still don't want it to just be like they start falling in love, even if I'm now a little bit more open to that than I was last week. But yeah, that's kind of where I stand on that whole thing. And then they reach the third basement, and they see they're in a jail cell, which means looking at the key visual, I imagine the master of this floor is going to be this orange-haired lady on the right side of the key visual. Just that she kind of looks like she's dressed like a prison warden, and that the only person left on here is this big guy at the back, who I imagine is going to be the main villain, who's like running the whole thing. Which means I don't know who would be the master of Basement 2, unless there is a master of Basement 1 who's not on here. But I don't know. Anyway, we have supposedly 13 episodes left, and we only have 3 floors to go until they're on the first floor, unless there's like more floors past the basement, which I don't know about. I've not played the game, as I mentioned. But yeah, I am curious to see where this goes. I imagine we'll be getting it a lot slower now that we're like running out of floors to go on. You know, I don't think we'll be done with floor 3 in the next few weeks, probably. Maybe episode 6 or 7 will be out of floor 3. Probably 6, maybe even 5 at the absolute earliest, but probably 6, just because there's not that much left. And we're only on episode 3. But yeah, I found this episode to be a lot more fun than episode 2 overall. This is my overall thoughts. Episode 2 I felt to be, you know, it had its moments. It was, you know, appropriately tense and things, but it was just a little bit too awkwardly funny, or awkwardly trying to be funny and not really succeeding, both in making it seem consistent and in just being funny. But yeah, 3 episodes in, you know, I think this is a series with a fair bit of potential. We'll still have to wait and see to see if it ever, you know, becomes a truly great series. But I'm enjoying it so far, and yeah, I want to know what happens next. So I can't really wait till next week. Also, I know these past 2 episodes have been really late. It's because of this job, and it just kills me on the weekends. But the next episode should be up. The next review, the episode comes out on Friday morning. It should be up no later than Sunday, probably Saturday. If not, like, if I'm super lucky, like Friday morning, afternoonish. But it'll probably be like Saturday evening or like Sunday night. But yeah, we're flying home most of Sunday. Yeah, so yeah, that's my plan for future episodes of Angels of Death. I hope you all enjoyed the video and the episode. If you did, you can feel free to drop me a like, subscribe, or whatever the fuck you want. I don't really care. And as always, people, keep kicking ass, and I'll see you in the future. Bye.